Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Alpha Type Podcast. I'm your host, Git, joined as always by my co-host, EJR. Ed, now we're talking with Wallchain today. You're Kyparus from Wallchain. It's a project you've been really excited about. Tell us why.
I found Wallchain early, and I just think the team has this level of transparency that you don't see in a lot of products that we see. And I've just loved it from the start. And I've been speaking with Yuri as much as possible to just give insights, and he's been great. So we wanted to have him on and just discuss what they're doing.
Yeah, right on. Okay, with that, let's bring Yuri on and we'll dig into it.
Hello, hey guys, happy to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're really excited to dig into this with you. Thank you for taking the time. And what I'll start with is this is not your first rodeo, right? In crypto. So can you just give us quick background into what have you been up to in crypto leading up to launching Wallchain?
Sure, met with my co-founder Max 8 years ago when I was in my master's in computer science. Max was on his PhD in machine learning. Since then, we went through Google, Meta, Y Combinator, Alliance DAO, bought first crypto in 2017, started building full-time in 2021 with arbitrage bots. Then we built one of the most used MEV protocols integrated by PancakeSwap, QuickSwap, and many others. Then in 2024, we explored a lot of consumer crypto projects, how people make their choices. We've done extensive research. We found a lot of issues, how marketing is being done in crypto, and that's a very short story how we got into what we're building now.
Yeah, right on. So let's talk about it. What is Wallchain? What problem are you trying to solve? Who are you trying to solve it for?
So from a high level standpoint, we are tokenizing 1 trillion worth of attention, of digital attention. So the key point to know here is that with latest LLM capabilities, we're able to measure influence and impact of the influence and amplification as efficient, as fast, as precise as never before. And this unlocks a huge potential of on-scale influencer brand growth, which was never possible before. What I'm talking about is for the last year, around $1 trillion was spent on online marketing. And most of it is done in a traditional way, which is from the year 2000 when Google launched AdWords, which is the platforms show people content that they want people to see within the content that people want to see. So you browse X and sometimes you see sponsored tweets, ad tweets, so on any other platform like YouTube and so on. And people already have blindness on that. People use ad blockers massively. And this kind of ads, they even don't work in crypto because most of crypto users, almost all crypto users are quite sophisticated, advanced, some sort of tech people, and they don't fall into this cheap advertisement tricks. And more people are getting like that. They buy subscriptions to remove ads because it's not natural. And the best performing ads is native content marketing. When influencer generally speaks about something, he adds some brands into their life, into what he's talking about. We're using mics here. If we start describing why we bought one of the mics that we're using and why it's great, it's the best form of marketing because some part of the audience may already trust us and they trust more our choice. Instead of just the current view being blocked with an ad, hey, just buy this, buy something out of nowhere. So the native advertisements, content marketing is the best performing, but the issue is that it cannot be scaled because you lose on results. You don't have control over the results on what people are posting, and you need to manage and negotiate deals with every influencer, with every person. So you need to have dozens, hundreds of marketing managers that will work with thousands of micro influencers or middle-sized influencers. And on this scale, there's a lot of human factor. And so this human factor, it brings chaos and you don't have control over results. And you lose a lot of money on all of the middlemen, marketing agencies that don't deliver on results. That's how a market works. And we even call it this inefficiency in the market, which is one of the reasons is because of a huge human factor. this is like the value extracted. It's taken to the extreme because all of the negotiations that are happening under the table. And it's MEV, maximal extracted value, in attention flows. Because previously we worked with MEV like for 2 years, building one of the most used MEV protocols. And it was like on-chain. You can clearly see what's happening on-chain. What are like the formulas, what's the logic used to trade tokens here, what went wrong, how it can be improved. It's like transparent and it's measurable. If you can measure something, you can improve it. But here you can't measure it because some people are like making under the hood deals. What's happening? How much this project attention got? Who's driving this attention? How efficient was it? You cannot measure it. But only now with latest LLMs, you can measure it. We're using to measure it and run on scale brand growth for companies. I hope it makes sense. Let us know if there is.
Yeah, no, it totally does. And a lot of what you said resonates with me, like right from the beginning with the ads, right? I very much programmed my mind to find that little like ad sign in post on X, and it might as well not be there. If my brain picks up on that, thing's gone, right? And this is the prepaid for days, right? I don't think I see ads anymore. But when they were showing up, I just blew right past them. And honestly, to an extent, I think I do that a lot with the KOLs and thought leaders now too. There is absolutely a whole crop of people that I've written off as not really trying to help me. So when I see them, that might as well say add to, gone. Like that, it doesn't even register with me whatsoever. And I'm not alone. Yeah, exactly. We've muted all of that. So as a marketer trying to get the word out, it's hard to know without being, especially if you're not in the space yourself, it's hard to know who might be muted. Where can I put some money and actually have it have value? Or like, it could even be worse, right? Could I pay a KOL to promote my project that actually makes somebody actively move away from me, right? If I see a certain person promoting something, I might say, I'm staying away from that project because of that person. So all of that kind of stuff, like as a marketer, would be very difficult to track down. And then, 100%, like, what are the metrics, right? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to get that attention. You're trying to get people to show up and use your platform. So you're stuck in the beginning, at least, with those vanity metrics, right? Are we getting views? Does this person have followers? Are we getting retweets? Whatever the case may be, if you're looking for social media marketing, not all that stuff doesn't always translate into what you want it to translate into. And that is, it sounds right. That's the problem you're trying to address is we've got data. Let's use the data to tell us what's working and what's not. And that's the idea behind this. Fair?
Yeah, those metrics become useless. Views, comments, number of followers. We have recently made a blog post why our algo can't be manipulated, why even you cannot grow your influence with money or with some sort of manipulation or spam. One of the reasons is because it's based on real social data, based on the quality of followers, not the number of followers. Basically, it checks who is following the account and how influential are those people. If Vitalik is following someone, then their influence score grows significantly. And the more people that are like closer to Vitalik or some other crypto gigabrains, the better ranking they have. So someone with 1 million followers can have 0 rank because they're not actually like influential. They don't have any influence. And someone with 1,000 followers can have a huge rank. And we've seen those accounts. It sometimes happens. These are especially people who are like researchers, journalists, some builders, founders. They have a great network, great connections, great content, but the content and like being an influencer is not their job. And that's also one of the target users that we target. Not only like influencers who live for the sake of like posting about a brand, make a buck on it and don't really make their due diligence, but there are a lot of like VCs, founders, builders, researchers, journalists, DeFi people, traders who are using some of the products, who are excited about some technologies, some protocols. And many times those people are not actually daily influencers, just researchers. They post something and they bring a lot of quality attention to the project and it should be rewarded. And that's one of our goals.
Yep, I like that. I'm reading through some of the background information here that you have out there is that type of goal, but also there was a note in there about trying to find ways to use in the future to use on-chain data to see who's actually doing stuff, right? Because there's one thing, there's a lot of value in somebody go out and saying, hey, here's what I've learned about the project, sharing information about it, et cetera. But it looked like you guys want to take that next step and say, who's actually in there using the protocol or in there playing the game, or basically who's really part of this community in an active way, which I love that. I think if you can find a way to do that, that'd be a game changer. So talk more about that. Is that something that's pretty far off into the future? Is that something you guys are actively working on?
Yeah, so the idea is if someone has a lot of volume on some protocol, many transactions, then their public opinion is valued more about this protocol rather than someone who has never used it, even if they're like influential. That's the idea behind it. It also aligns with the idea that the best way for influencer, for an influential person to advertise someone is to have a long-term partnership, to not change the product like every week, what they talk about. And it also aligns with this concept.
Yeah. Agreed. That proves they care about it. They're not like, oh, I'm talking about this week because it's hot, and that next week because I'm being paid, and this the following week because whatever. No, I enjoy this protocol. I use it on a daily basis, and I'm telling you about it because I'm excited by it and I see value in it. That's big difference in what you can take from that kind of commentary, for sure.
Yep, exactly.
So one of the things that you all are doing that I appreciate, and I know me and EJR have talked about this, is that transparency about it. And like, for one, there's published information about how you guys are doing this, which is nice, right? Like when you look at the other one out there that obviously people would probably align, and we could talk about this, is Cato. Cato, the big talk, has been like, nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes, and it's magic, and there's like almost a game around trying to figure out what's happening. You guys have published a thing that says, here's what's going on, right? So talk about like your approach to transparency. Why is that the route that you've chosen to take? And what do you see as the benefits of doing so, and potentially the drawbacks of doing so too?
Sure. Yeah. Kaito operates in some sort of black box, and it makes sense. So people don't game it. They don't try to farm it and so on,
Right.
which makes a lot of sense. In our case, we give some sort of hints, recommendations, advice how to earn more quacks. We even like made a post recently, exactly how like anyone can earn more quacks. But we want our approach here is not to be a completely black box, but to optimize for things that cannot be manipulated. So that's our, like, where do we stand? Be more transparent. And the way we prioritize and optimize our algo is that it can't be manipulated, even if some parts of it are revealed. As I mentioned, the way we score each account cannot be manipulated because it's based on real following. You cannot manipulate and make Vitalik follow you with some, like, by buying followers or any sales.
Sure.
You generally need to build a real relationship with highly influential people so they follow you. So you need to be insightful, you need to bring value, you need to help them somehow. That's and I don't think I can call it manipulation. That's going there and actually bring value. And that's the same way we apply to evaluating content. The higher the influence, the better. Like really influence is like a part of the formula. Another part is insightfulness, uniqueness, how structured is the post, how much value it brings, is it like a copy paste and so on. And also engagement, and also like the influence of people who engage matters, and exponential decay, like eliminate spam, eliminate like number of posts, comments that increase your like sort of metrics that bring you to the top. So if you have a group of highly influential people and you all start like posting dozens of posts, commenting thousands of comments each other, there is like an exponential decay applied, which heavily eliminates this sort of attacks.
Gotcha. Yeah, you got to be very proactive to go after that gaming. So if you got these two components, you got the XRank component, which you've already said is based on who's following you, how influential they're, et cetera. There's at least a high level documentation of how that works out there. You guys have it posted on your website. I mean, you've posted on Twitter as well. And then there's the quacks, which is actually the thing that someone's earning, if you will, or what's accumulating. I don't know if even earning is the right way to say it, but that's the thing that's accumulating to measure how effective somebody's sharing information. How do those two things play together? Is it like a multiplier factor there? And what's the reasoning behind having two separate measures?
Yes, first of all, we started with the Chrome extension, which is like XRank. By the way, we're going to rename it next week to X score, because many people had a confusion because rank is like lower the better, but in reality it's like the bigger the better.
Yep, got it. Yep.
So the Chrome extension, which ranks Twitter account for its influence on crypto Twitter, we have used it internally last year just for the purpose of our research to better understand accounts in Twitter, because there may be someone with like unknown logo, no background, no description Twitter profile, but 300 people I know are following this profile. So what's happening behind the scenes, I don't know. So it really helps to understand the value of the account. We used it internally, we talked about it to a few friends, they asked for it, we launched it on the Chrome store. Later, we launched it on a few forums with a referral system, and it got us to 10,000 installs and 3,000 daily active users. So this algo is specifically about ranking Twitter profiles. And by the way, the full algo is on GitHub. It's fully public. We released it in December. So the full logic of the algo is public.
Very nice.
And this algo is a part of Quacking algo, which evaluates content. It's important here because if you post something and like someone unknown is commenting you like, okay, that's great, but what about the second point in your article? That's one sort of value. And if you get such sort of comment from Vitalik, that's a much more significant sort of value. So it helps us better understand real, actual, not manipulated influence. And it's used in content evaluation and helps us, again, eliminate the manipulation part.
Okay, very cool. And how do you anticipate the market using these things? So like I could, as an end user, use the Wallchain Chrome extension to help me evaluate things as I'm going through, right? Like I see a tweet, does this from someone that's influential in this regard? That could help me as an individual maybe measure them. I suspect it could help a marketer evaluate like whether or not it's worth engaging with somebody on a campaign or something like that. But like, how else are those good use cases, or how else might that be used? And then obviously the same question for Quacks, like how might those be used by the market?
Sure. Firstly, the Chrome extension. Crypto Twitter analytic tools have existed for years, and there are still a lot of them that help you analyze Twitter in different ways. The benefit of this Chrome extension is that it shows you the most important piece of information as a single number, single piece of information next to each account. So it's a very smooth experience. You don't have a lot of things going on. It's the most important part just next to each Twitter username. So it doesn't really change your Twitter experience, but it really adds this important piece of information. So when you go to comments, you see who influential has commented. If you see some viral post, you can see, is there some no-name posting some fake information and running ads and bots to make it more popular, more views, more comments? Or is it someone really influential posting? And even when you go to DMs, you can scroll and see, is there someone influential who has DM'd you, or others are only like low quality grifters, let's say. So that's the part of use case for the Chrome extension. And we are planning to add more features that highlight the whole Wallchain Quacks ecosystem to the Chrome extension itself. So you'll be able to see the number of quacks of each account when you go to their Twitter profile. Some performance on the account content on each profile. So that's some sort of integrations that we plan. So you will be able to faster check the important information about content performance of account directly when scrolling Twitter. And
got it. So is that giving me just kind of like a different view of kind of the same thing, right? Because somebody might be well connected and well liked, which means they have followers that give them a decent Twitter score, but they might not often post content that performs well. Is that where you're like just two different ways of measuring that individual account, like connectedness versus actual performance in the content that they produce? Is that what you're going for there?
Yeah, this scoring, it can be high and the person may not post anything, but they're really well connected. And they may have been posted something valuable 5 years ago, in the previous cycles, and they got very well connected there, and this connection still is still there, but the post down and ranking is high. And Quacks, it's specifically to evaluate your content, to get better at posting insightful content. There may be someone who is like highly popular and well known on crypto Twitter, but is not high in our leaderboard because their content is not that valuable, helpful, and insightful. It's rather like paid for comments. It may be very engaging. It may be very fun. It may be, I don't know, provocative, but it's not that like insightful and helps me do some sort of, I don't know, trading decisions, investment decisions, help me better and understand the market or some like whole concepts around it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the who's active right now tweet probably won't quack well, if you will, right? That's something that gets responses, but it's not really insightful or helpful in any particular way. So that makes good sense. So now you guys are into this. You've launched, you got your Chrome extension, you got people using it, you're starting to see some data. What's working well, right? Like, how are you feeling about how the algorithm's working? What do you think what strengths have you seen, and what do you think needs some work?
Yeah, so we are onboarding more people. We have already more than 12% of the most influential crypto Twitter joined the platform. We're constantly improving the algo, and we love the speed, how fast it's improving. And we setting up a pipeline of partners. We are specifically focused on remarkable utility-based projects, and our priority is the growth opportunity of the project. Not that well-known projects that are like consensus for everyone that they're interesting, that no, I don't know, launching the leaderboard for MetaMask wouldn't make a ton of sense. Everyone is just using it, but there may be some utility-based products which are not specifically built around marketing. They just solve real problems, and those teams, they may not be marketers. There are projects that are like 90% marketing, 90% like just pushing content, making events, but they don't actually solve any problems. We are focused on high opportunity for growth, remarkable utility-based projects.
Okay, awesome. So that's your goal, is to get this in the hands of those projects to help them reach the right people, or reach the right influencers to talk about them, to gain the right users. What is it going to do for those projects?
Yes, so for those projects, it would put their marketing on high scale, high quality autopilot, because they will allow anyone to talk about them, to amplify them, to post something insightful, meaningful, some research about the technology, product, and so on, and get fairly rewarded for it.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. Now, I know we're at time. We had a short half hour with you here. Last question for you is, if those organizations are watching, those projects are watching right now, what's the best way for them to reach out and get involved in this, take advantage of the platform?
Just DM me on Twitter, DM me on X, or DM the project, the Wallchain account on X. Happy to onboard more projects.
Right on. Thank you for the time, man. That was the half hour went quick, as we expected it might, but super cool project. We're here to support you and help spread the word any way we can. Reach out if you need anything. EJR, I know I dominated all the questions. Any comments on the way out here for
That's
Yuri?
okay. I just appreciate you. I've been a fan since the start, and I'm excited to see how this progresses. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, and I appreciate you because you give me quacks. Kaido, no, they give me nothing. I don't know why, but you do, so I like you. No, all good. I thank you so much for the time, man. We'll keep an eye out. We'll keep playing with the platform. We'll keep spreading the word.
Thank you, guys.
Have
My pleasure.
Thank you.